whatever is necessary to protect America and Americans. I ask the American people to join me in saying a thanks for all the folks who have been fighting hard to rescue our fellow citizens, and to join me in saying a prayer for the victims and their families. The resolve of our great nation is being tested, but make no mistake, we will show the world that we will pass this test. God bless.
That concludes the President.
President Bush speaking to the nation from an Air Force base in Louisiana, to which point he has been taken for his own safety, I'm sure, and for the continued organized governmental process to go forward. If I can just briefly recap what the President said. He said it was such a dastardly act that freedom itself, he said, was being attacked by what he called a faceless coward. And he assured us that the full resources of the federal government would be brought to bear to hunt down and punish those responsible for what he called this cowardly acts. And he said also that he has taken all appropriate security precautions to protect the American people and to make sure that the wheels of government continue to go forward. And he concluded by thanking the rescuers and asking us all to say a prayer for the victims of this horrible tragedy.
And at this point, the President is going to be shuttled from place to place, of course, for his own safety.
As he said here, you know, our resolve has been tested, but we will pass this test.
Okay.
And he showed true courage in the face of this.
All right. What was the President talking about, in case you've just joined us, or in case you've just waking up or whatever? Let's take a look back now and look at some dramatic footage and get an idea of the dimensions of this tragedy.
Fulton and Broadway.
Which way to go?
Stay right where you are.
Stay where you are, man.
Stay where you are.
Chopper 5 on 3.
Stay where you are.
Oh my God. You can get through to the truck. Into the station.
Adriana!
Everyone is... Well, there you see some of the
some of the aftermath of those bombings, that the people you saw earlier were cheering and applauding?
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
I covered a lot of sound on this.
Thank you! Thank you!
Wow, look at that. You can see more of the video on
The World Trade Center right now, as you would expect, all the roadways are pretty much cut off. The only way to get near the buildings is on foot right now. The scene is absolutely a horrific one. You have people streaming out of the area. You've got people literally in tears and shock. People that just worked in the nearby buildings that cannot believe what has happened. Still, many of them remember the terrorist attack years ago on the World Trade Center, and for many of them, this is just an ugly reminder of that, although the details of what happened here are not certain. As I was walking downtown in Lower Manhattan, making my way to the World Trade Centers, I stopped to speak to Sylvia Fuentes. She's with me right now. We're a few blocks away from the building. She works in Lower Manhattan. She used to work in the Trade Center, and I'm going to actually hand her the telephone right now, and she's going to describe for us what she saw this morning as she was arriving at work. Sylvia?
I was at the deli on Fulton Street, and I heard a loud rumbling, and when I walked out of the deli onto Fulton Street, I looked up in the air, and there was an airplane actually going into the World Trade Center, and flames were coming out, and smoke was just billowing in the air, and tons of people were running down Fulton Street, just running each other over, and I made my way back to my office on Water Street, and when I got upstairs, I looked out my window to see what was going on, and the Second World Trade Center just went into flames.
Once again, David Lee Miller is on the phone with us. David?
John, I think it's important to keep in mind this morning that just getting information out is a difficult thing at this time, because there are people running through the streets with their cell phones in hand, many like myself, who are unable to actually get through on the cell system. It is overloaded, and the only way for most people to communicate right now is to find a regular telephone line, because they're just literally thousands of people streaming through the streets, all of them not knowing what to do or what has happened here.
Right. All right, David Lee Miller, thanks very much. Want to bring into the discussion William Daley. He is a former FBI agent. Bill, there are reports that the FBI is looking into the possibility of a plane hijacking. When you look at these buildings are the symbols of capitalism to enemies of America, aren't they?
Absolutely, John. I mean, these have, as we know, were the target of a terrorist attack in this last decade. And by comparison, that explosion, as horrific as it was, certainly pales in respect to what we see happening here today. Just the thought that, when I first heard the reports, by the way, and I heard that a plane had hit the top of the World Trade Center, I thought perhaps it was something that was gone awry, a small plane lost control. Certainly the worst fears of anyone in law enforcement and security is someone directly going after a building, particularly the World Trade Center. Then just a few minutes later, another plane intentionally flying into the World Trade Center just dramatizes the fact that we have a serious, I believe, a terrorist incident here. And I believe that something has happened that has caused these planes to be taken or be commandeered.
We all shared in that hope, Bill, in the early going. In fact, one of our early guests from the former National Transportation Safety Board investigator was saying, hey, this could have been a pilot who was temporarily disoriented, maybe blinded by the morning sun. It has happened before. A skyscraper, the Empire State Building, was hit back in 1945 by an Army bomber. But that was in the fog. This was on a bright, clear morning. And when we saw that second plane slam into the second tower intentionally, quite clearly, you got to believe this is a terrorist attack. It doesn't seem like there would be two suicidal pilots out there who just wanted to, fly their planes into these buildings for whatever reason. A suicidal person might want to do that. Harvey Kushner is on the line with us. He's a frequent guest of ours and a terrorism expert. Harvey, is it too early to speculate about suspects? I don't want to bring up memories of the Oklahoma City bombing when people were talking about Middle Eastern terrorists.
Yeah, obviously it's too early to bring that up. Who might be responsible if, in fact, it is terrorism? I mean, look, John, I couldn't conjure up a story like this. I couldn't. If I wrote a script like this with two planes, I believe there were two, will go into the Trade Center on a clear day like this, somebody laugh at me and say this is beyond bizarre. So one thinks only that this could be the most horrifically planned incident, in the annals of terrorism against the United States. Think about it. I mean, you look outside the Fox studios. Look how clear it is. I mean, how could you miss the trade towers? You know, we're talking about terrorism. No matter how this turns out, this is going to be a day that's going to live in infamy, and you know, it's going to cause